Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. First call, Keanu Benton loses weight, Corey Trice feels good to go for training camp. Friday's first call has some encouraging Pittsburgh Steelers tidbits on a pair of last year's rookies as minicamp wraps up. The Pirates head out to Colorado for a weekend series. And a former Pirates relief pitcher who has had a lot of success in 2024 stumbled on Thursday. Steelers defensive lineman Keanu Benton had a solid first year as a rookie. Now he is looking to build upon that in his sophomore campaign. One way in which the Wisconsin product is trying to do so is to get lean. I lost about 10 pounds, Benton said via Steelers.com. But I figured out how to get some more body muscle rather than putting that on in fat. The NFL is a lot different training than college. So it was good that I had that time off to focus on my body. Just getting to know my body better and kind of preparing it for this year was probably my biggest takeaway. Regarding where things can go from here in Pittsburgh, Benton had a bold proclamation. He was asked where the ceiling is for him as an individual player. I can't see it. It's up there somewhere. I'm not really looking for that, Benton said. The defensive tackle's rookie season ended with 36 tackles, 2 forced fumbles and a sack. Steelers defensive back Corey Trice is hoping to be a full participant at training camp next month. The second-year product out of Purdue was an intriguing 7th-round pick in 2023, with tons of athletic ability, but an injury history. Sure enough, the 6'3" corner hurt his knee early in drills at St. Vincent College. But now he is looking for a comeback. I'm going to be ready to go for training camp, Trice told me Thursday. Everything is feeling good. I've just got to get used to training again and continue to keep doing this again so my body can learn how to react to it again. Steelers defensive backs coach Grady Brown admits that he may be holding Trice back a little bit more than he needs to at this point. He probably could do more, Brown said Wednesday. But I'm cautiously optimistic and cautious in my approach with his reps. I think he could do more. But he's in a good place. He's had a knee injury before. And if you ask him, I would imagine he would say he is in a good place right now. So, we just need to get him to Latrobe and go from there. Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson are slated as the starting cornerbacks outside. After them, there are a lot of reps to be won. If Trice is healthy, it'll be interesting to see how many fall to him. Tim Benz, Deontay Johnson trade can't miss for Steelers, and Dante Jackson knows it. So far, any word that I can come up with to describe new Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Dante Jackson is a positive one. Bright. Engaging. Friendly. Energetic. Accessible. Confident, without being too cocky. He's also intelligently self-aware. He knows the situation that he has walked into upon being traded to Pittsburgh. He's a cornerback from Carolina who was traded for wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Just the positional nature alone of that swap is a tough one. Most times, when fans and media are noticing a wide receiver, it's because they are doing something good. Scoring a touchdown. Converting a first down. Making a diving catch. The cornerback is often the guy giving up those plays. Unless it's an interception or a rare splash play of a different sort, if the corner is getting noticed, it's because he's been burned. When the corner is doing his best work, he may not be noticed at all because the ball is going elsewhere. So, even though Johnson seemed to be falling out of favor in Pittsburgh with the way last year ended, he's still a decent receiver whose roster spot has yet to be successfully filled. And while it's not an apples-to-apples comp when it comes to evaluating how Jackson will do his job here versus how Johnson will perform in Charlotte, Jackson realizes people are going to make it anyway and embraces the challenge. I know Deontay was a great fan favorite, a great player, Jackson said after a recent practice. So I'm not going to come in and try to be that, to match that. I'm just going to come in and be myself. My game is going to speak for itself. I'll be a household name just by going out there and playing football. The spotlight is on Jackson and general manager Omar Khan even more because there are some who believe that Jackson may have ended up being released by Carolina anyway. Yet the Steelers gave up a starting asset to get him. At corner, the spotlight is always on that position, Jackson continued. I like to think I've always been a solid guy who is out there making plays. It just hasn't been in front of the right eyes. For his part, secondary coach Grady Brown says the traits in Jackson's game that attracted the Steelers to him when he was a college player coming out of LSU in 2018 are still present. Steelers Russell Wilson fires blunt message on joining Steelers. As the cliché goes, age is just a number. That's the narrative new Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson is spreading at the team's minicamp. Wilson will turn 36 during the 2024 regular season. But he argued on June 11 that joining his third NFL team this offseason has him rejuvenated. I feel the fountain of youth, Wilson told reporters. I feel revived in every way. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I feel confident. That gels with what the feelings Wilson conveyed very early in his tenure with the Steelers. This past year I felt like myself again, Wilson said in March, via ESPN's Brooke Pryor. And so I can't wait to just put on the cleats and go after it. Compared to 2022, Wilson had a much better statistical season during his second year with Denver Broncos last fall. He threw for 26 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions with a 66.4% completion percentage in 2023. But the Steelers are hoping Wilson can also recapture the efficiency he had during his prime with the Seattle Seahawks. In 10 years with the Seahawks, he averaged 7.8 yards per pass. The past 2 seasons in Denver, Wilson recorded 7.1 yards per attempt. Wilson hasn't posted a winning record since 2020, which was the only All-Pro campaign the veteran quarterback has had in his 12-year career. In 2020, Wilson tossed for 4,212 yards with 40 touchdowns. It's unrealistic for the Steelers to expect Wilson to return to that kind of production. After all, under new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, Pittsburgh could be a heavy run team with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren in the backfield. Running the ball isn't the new craze in the league. But the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Christopher Carter argued on June 12 that it's still a recipe of success for a lot of teams. The 49ers have hovered right around 500 carried the past few seasons, Carter wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Eagles ran the ball 544 times when they were in the SB. If the Steelers were to have the run game working like those teams, would be interesting. The last time the Steelers had more than 500 rushing attempts in a season was Mike Tomlin's first year as head coach in 2007. The Steelers had 549 carries in 2005 when they won the Super Bowl under previous head coach Bill Cowher. Pittsburgh's offense could look similar this fall. But even if that's the Steelers' new formula, Wilson will need to be a big part of the team's success. A ground game only wins with an efficient quarterback and an elite defense. The Steelers identified Wilson as the quarterback they wanted to compete for their starting job very early this offseason. They signed him before NFL free agency technically even began. But NFL analysts don't 100% share the Pittsburgh organization's confidence in the veteran signal caller. At least NBC Sports' Chris Sims doesn't. Sims ranked Wilson outside his top 20 quarterbacks on his annual QB list. The good news, though, if there is with that ranking any for the Steelers, is the team has clearly upgraded in Sims' mind. Sims ranked former Pittsburgh first-round pick Kenny Pickett at number 38 on his quarterback list. Justin Fields was also higher than Pickett. In fact, Fields wasn't far behind Wilson at number 25. If there's any other positive Steelers fans can take away from the list, it's San Francisco 49ers signal caller Brock Purdy came in at number 17 on the Sims rankings. The biggest criticism for Purdy is he's a game manager and not a difference maker for San Francisco. But if the Steelers have an elite running game and defense in 2024, they'll take an efficient game manager behind center. That could be the secret to ending the franchise's 7-year postseason win drought. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Russell Wilson? Leave your opinion in the comments.